What's up, fiber family? Welcome to the Pretty Twisted Yarns YouTube channel. My name is Teresa, and this is my little corner of YouTube where I chat all about my knitting and yarn dyeing adventures. If those are things that interest you, grab something to drink, grab your project, and let's get into it. I have a finished object today, and it's a fail. I failed so bad at this pair of socks, and I'm so sad. I need your guys' help to figure out what I'm going to do about this. Here's the first sock. Beautiful, right? This is the colorway I dye here at Pretty Twisted Yarns. And this is Orange is the New Black. It's dyed on my Shiver Silver Stellina base. And I did this scrappy stripy socks. And it's just beautiful. Second sock, however, okay, this is why you don't start a sock, start knitting a sweater, and then go back to the second sock. There's something to be said for monogamous knitting and or knitting socks two at a time or in tandem. Because, this sock is a good 2 inches longer than its mate. Like, the tension, it's laughable. Like, the tension is noticeably bigger. Look at it, like, bulbs out. So I started knitting the first sock in July, and then I started knitting a sweater on bigger needles with bigger yarn that I rarely ever knit with. I usually knit with fingering weight yarn. So I don't know if my hands were just in that mode of not knitting a sock, which I like at a tighter gauge, or is it because, now I shared last episode that my youngest had come home sick, positive, with the Corvid, and the next day, the very next day after the last podcast, I tested positive. It's been a very interesting and eventful last 2 weeks, y'all. And then a couple days later, Dave tested positive, and then my grandma tested positive, and we were all positively miserable. Haley made it out alive. She wasn't here and she was able to stay at her boyfriend's house, so she was able to get out, but it's been rough, you guys. So my grandma ended up having to go to the emergency room. They admitted her at the hospital, and she's now in a skilled nursing rehabilitation center. And while I do have peace of mind knowing she's being taken care of, it's still really hard. My heart is really heavy, but I don't want to bum anyone out or anything. So thank you for all of your well wishes and words of encouragement. We're hanging in there. At least that's what we're trying to do. Anyways, I started knitting the foot of this sock while I was in bed, deathly ill with COVID. So I don't know if just not feeling well, I knit that much looser. Or was it because when I knit the first sock, I was watching Stranger Things, and so I was knitting that much tighter? I don't know. This is my usual gauge on a sock. I'm a pretty, or at least I used to be a pretty tight knitter. I don't think I am anymore. It's very strange, very strange. Anyways, what the heck do I do? I mean, I can't even pretend they're the same size or wear them. Should I rip back the foot and then try to reuse the yarn and try to have a tighter tension? I mean, that's really the only thing I'm gonna do, or I'm just gonna throw them away because I'm not trying to fix anything. I'm gonna move on and cast on the next sock, right? Don't know. Let me know in the comments below. What should I do? Anyways, that's that's my only finished object. I have been devoting most of my time to my new cast on. You guys saw it last episode. I've made a lot of progress, so now we're gonna get into whips. Alright, y'all. I am hosting a knit-along. This is the Pretty Twisted Yarns Spooky Sweater Cow. I'm hosting it on Instagram because I have no idea how to host something like that on YouTube. However, you can find me on Instagram at prettytwistedyarns. And the rules are whips are allowed, as long as you're not like on the binding off or something. And if it's spooky to you, if it's fall themed in any way, you can use the hashtag PTY Spooky Sweater Cow. K-A-L. I'll put it here on the screen. And show your progress. On my birthday, now this is important, you're going to want to mark your calendars. On my birthday, October 27th, enter your finished spooky sweater using the hashtag PTY Spooky Sweater FO, finished object. I have decided to knit, and this is my very first adult garment. I've knit my youngest sweaters and garments, but I have not knit. I've knit big shawls, just not like a garment. So, I am knitting the Carved Pullover by Emily Haver, or Haver. Hopefully I'm saying her name right. And it has this really cute, spooky jack-o'-lantern. And I am knitting this in my colorway called Pinky Promise. Y'all, this hot pink is bringing me so much joy. So much joy. And it's sparkly. So you know how they have those jack-o'-lanterns the kids go trick-or-treating with? That are like bright pink and sparkly? That's literally going to be me on Halloween. That is my costume. And also I'm like 5 feet tall and very round. So I'm literally going to be like a pink jack-o'-lantern. Knitting my own Halloween costume. I put the body on hold so that I could knit the sleeves for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, I didn't want to get second sleeve syndrome. Reason number 2, I'm going to knit this longer than the pattern calls for, and I didn't want it to be too like awkward and heavy, twist, you know, turning it and stuff like that, to knit the sleeves. So I knit both sleeves, and I am on Body Island. Now the pattern, it's a paid for pattern, by the way. The pattern modifications I made, or am planning on making, for the sleeves, I did 0 decreasing, 0 shaping, none. Because I don't want sausage arms. It's not a cute look. And I did ribbing, the 1x1 ribbing. It's so interesting too because Aquila was just talking about this. Aquila is a Lefty Knitter podcast on YouTube and Instagram. She was just talking about knitting ribbing. Now, ribbing can sometimes look very messy, and since about November of last year, I've been knitting my ribbing in a different way than you normally would. If that is something that you would like me to record and show you guys, let me know in the comments below. I think I've figured out how to record tips and tricks, so I would be happy to do that for you guys. It's almost like combination knitting, if you're familiar with that at all. You do your knit, and then on your purl, you insert your right hand needle into the stitch as if to purl, but instead of wrapping it counterclockwise around the needle, you wrap it clockwise around the needle, which twists the stitch. And then on the next round, you purl that stitch through the back loop so that it untwists it. And what that does is, when you're knitting ribbing and you do a knit stitch, It always happens on the space between a knit stitch and a purl stitch. And what happens is the act of yarning forward to purl gives a little bit more length to that strand of yarn than like knitting would. So if you wrap that clockwise, it reduces that drag, that little bit of extra yarn. So it tightens it up, and it ends up looking very tidy, very nice and tidy. And I did a tubular bind off for the first time, which looks very nice and tidy as well. So I feel as though I've redeemed myself a little bit from the failed pair of socks because, I mean, I'm also going to knit the body, I don't know if I said this yet or not, but I'm going to knit the body longer. And this is amazing for vertically challenged people to be able to knit a garment, because any shirt, sweatshirt, anything always has the sleeves way too long for me. So I could actually knit this to like, my sleeves aren't hanging way down off my hands, and I don't want a cropped sweater, so I'm going to knit it longer. Who am I even? Knitting a sweater and making modifications to it? Ridiculous. But anyways, yes, this is my colorway Pinky Promise. It is the hottest pink. The hottest pink of them all. Okay. Y'all, moving right along, I have one more whip. I mean, that I actively worked on. Like, in reality, I have like 50. But I have a project, Living in a Bag by Jenny from Mountain State Stitches. This is a Summer Sock Camp 2022 project bag. And it is super cute with socks on it. And it has a really pretty inner fabric. Very, very beautiful bag. And I have the first sock minus a heel finished. This is my colorway called Punky Power. So I did a little pop of color here at the top. I placed markers for an afterthought heel, which I think I'm gonna wait and do either a reel or maybe a little YouTube tips and tricks on how I pick up and knit my afterthought heels. I placed these light bulb stitch markers every 10 rounds. That way, when I'm knitting the second sock, I can just count the rounds. And then I did a contrast toe. But the only thing is, like, with counting rounds, which usually works fine for me, if I do, like, that's what I did on the oranges, the new black socks, and that came out a disaster. I've never really had that happen before, so I don't know, maybe I need to measure instead of count rounds. But anyways, this is going to get an afterthought heel in this same aqua color that I dyed. So I have the other sock cast on. I have the ribbing done. Pop of color, 2x2 ribbing. I knit my socks on a US 1 2.25 millimeter needle. My preferred needles are Chiaogu red lace. I have 500,000 of those. So that's the other thing. It's like, yeah, I could go down in needle size, but all of my 5 million size 1 needles would feel lonely, and I'd have to buy 5 million size 0 needles. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But I love this colorway so, so, so much. It's just like, it's just so happy and bright. I love it so much. So I'm going to be knitting right along on those. That's pretty much what I've been working on. I haven't really picked anything else up, because we were sick, y'all, and like I was saying, I'm here to keep it light and make it fun, but I don't want to bum anyone out. But also, like, if you're not okay, it's okay to not be okay. Like, I'm actually not okay. My grandma, you know, she's kind of more like my mom. My mom was 16 when she had me, and so I lived with my grandparents and my mom. My mom always worked, but my grandma and grandpa raised me, so it's more like my mom, and my mom is like my sister, and my mom's out of state, like doesn't live anywhere near us, so I'm like the executor, decision maker, caretaker, and it's hard, you guys, because I don't know if she's gonna be able to come home. So I'll keep you all updated, but I'm not gonna make this like Debbie Downer or anything like that, because there's enough going on of that when I'm not on camera. So I have some really fun mail that came in. So moving on to the mail segment of the show, I received some more donations from some very generous people. Well, this is from one person. This is some yarn that was donated for the Spooky Sweater Knit-Along prize. And y'all gotta cast on a spooky sweater, because listen, I have way more prizes than I have people who are participating in this knit-along. But look at this. Barley, Hops, and Yarn. This is Jennifer. That's her tag. Super cute. Keep knitting, kitten. Look at this. It's so pretty and moody. I love this so much. It's called Simon Says. That's the colorway name. 246 yards to 100 grams, so that is a DK weight, and it is 100% superwash. It feels like merino. It doesn't say, but she also, I shouldn't say she, they also sent another skein. It matches my nails. Boop. So pretty. So this colorway is called Backyard, and this is a fingering weight, 436 yards to 100 grams, and it is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. So these will be going into the prize bin, and I have a giveaway winner to announce, so I'm going to do that in just a second, but I have a little bit more mail. And then the prizes from last episode were put in the mail today, so those will be going out. I scheduled a mail pickup for the first time, and it went really well, because we couldn't leave the house, obviously. So yeah, that went really well. I was a little nervous, like, I don't know, just because we usually take it by hand and scan them at the post office. So the other piece of mail that I got is a skein of yarn from Tristan from Dragon Hoard Yarn. And this is called Running Up That Hill. So it's a Stranger Things skein. Oh my gosh, it matches my nails again. I got all the spooky vibes. I got all the fall feels going, y'all. And I've never had Dragon Hoard yarn, but I'm having a love affair with her whole aesthetic. Her and her mom Christy, just such an inspiration. Such an inspiration. So this is on her Myth sock. 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 463 yards to 100 grams. This is going to be a pair of socks for me, which I might crank on my machine, because apparently I can't knit socks anymore. And I also got some more mail from Tristan that I ordered, and I'm going to film that in another video. It's going to be an unboxing, but I'm going to put that in another video, so yeah. This is for me. So let's move on to the giveaway winner from last episode for my 1,000 subscriber giveaway is If I'm cool, maybe I could put the name right here. I don't know. Rachel King. If you're Rachel King, email me at prettytwistedyarns.com and I will ship out to you your prize, which is 2 skeins of Pretty Twisted Yarns in the Punky Power colorway on my super sparkle Stardust base. I'm gonna do another giveaway, y'all. So sometimes I die too much, or I can't count, or I just die for fun. I didn't write the recipe down, but someone's gonna win this skein of yarn. Are you ready? Like, what? What? Teresa. So this is kind of dyed like my Black Hole Sun colorway, but let me open it up. But I did a purple base instead of a black. This will bleed. All these neon colors, y'all, they will bleed. I'm not even going to say, like, it might bleed upon first wash. It's gonna. Wash it in cool water with a color catcher with nothing else in it. These neon pigments, I mean, I'm no expert in yarn dyeing, but everything I've tried to do, like, it's going to bleed a little bit. It's just the nature of these pigments. Somebody's going to win this. Like, I'm not going to name it because I didn't write the recipe down. It was a dye dump. So it was at the end of the day, and I just created a purple colorway, and I dyed it like Black Hole Sun. But, Purple Hole Sun? I don't know. Somebody's going to win this. What should the prompts be? Okay, well, so if you would like this skein of yarn, make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. If you find me somewhat tolerable and you enjoy my content, smash that subscribe button, like this video, turn on the notifications so you get notified whenever I upload a video. I sound like, ugh, it sounds so cringy when I say that, but do it, like totally do it. So make sure you're doing all those things and leave a comment down below and let me know. Let me know. Oh my gosh. Let me know. I'm gonna have to cut this out because I can't think of anything. Shoot. Let me know in the comments below if you prefer variegated, speckled, or self-striping yarn. Let me know. What's your favorite kind of yarn? What's your favorite kind of dye? Drop. Yeah, cool. So I will pick a winner using a YouTube comment picker. I'm going to try to record next week, but on the next episode I will announce the winner of that skein of yarn. Let's check my notes and see what else I have. Okay, so on Instagram I did a little like ask me anything because I thought that would be kind of fun to answer people's questions. And I got a few. Okay, so, my favorite one was, how are you so amazing? Asking for a friend. My friend Allie, who is the Skein Witch on Instagram and here on YouTube, posed this question to me. And y'all, I don't know. I'm not sure. I barely hang on by a thread. I don't know. I appreciate the compliment, though, Allie. How am I feeling? Not as good as I'm probably sounding like I am right now. I feel kind of like crap. Okay. Like a lot better than I was. Oh my gosh, so much better than I was. Yeah, so thanks. I'm feeling better, but it just lingers and you're just tired and, yeah. How do you make time for rest and relaxation as a small business owner? If I'm being honest, I don't. And well, okay. Actually, I take a bath a lot. Like, I take a bath almost every night, especially on heavy dye days, because by the end of a really heavy dye day, I'm feeling a little dizzy and just exhausted. So I will take a hot bath to kind of help relax my muscles and my body. So yeah, I guess that's, I do that. I do take some time for myself, but I know I need to take more time for myself. Favorite thing about Florida? I really got nothing on that one. I don't like Florida very much. To be fair, I haven't seen much of it, but not a big fan. Not a big fan of Florida.
Springs.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Okay, my husband grew up here. The springs, like the, what do we call it? Like, where did we... Like Homosassa, the manatees, like the wildlife, right? Like not the bugs and alligators and snakes and stuff, but oh my gosh, there's some of the most beautiful wildlife when you go out to these clear springs on these glass bottom boat tours and stuff like that. It's just amazing, like so beautiful.
Herpes monkeys.
Stop. Okay. Do I prefer dyeing speckles or self-striping yarn, and why? I'd have to probably say speckles is a little easier, even though I don't want to say it's easy. You have to flip it a lot more times. Self-striping is a lot more like, I have control. I know exactly what the color is going to look like, where it's going to start and stop. Speckles is a little bit more like free-flowing, and sometimes it makes me crazy because I can't control exactly what's going to happen, but it's also fun. And if I have to pick one to knit or to dye for the rest of my life, it would be speckles. Self-striping yarn, though, the prep and then rescanning is a lot of work. It's worth it. I love the outcome. I love self-striping yarn, but if I had to pick one, it would be speckles. Okay, there's a few more questions, but I will answer them on the next episode because I am going to go now and I'm going to relax or knit. I don't know. It's almost dinner time, so I think we'll go eat some dinner. And thank you so much for joining me today, you guys. I can't wait to see you on the next episode. Enjoy your Labor Day weekend and take care of yourselves and each other. Bye!